Detail how nurture plays a key role in human development. Think back to Jeannie Wiley's story with your response. Staying up to date on Canvas. That's what we're doing here. Watching video lessons. Like and subscribe. Oh, okay. You failed that part.
My sister got that case and she said she heard about it before.
Oh, really? Oh. Cool. All right, so today I just want to go over a theory of developmental stages. Okay, there's many other ones, but this is kind of one that most psychologists focus on. And if you take me for psychology next semester, we'll mention this, the first chapter, and when we go over developmental viewpoints and developmental perspective. So I'm going to go over that, and I just have a short assignment that kind of pertains to Jeannie Wiley's story. And it's just a short reading, couple questions. I figured tomorrow we'd discuss it, go over it, and that'll be it. Sound good? Since it's a half day, relax. Cool. So it was a soccer tournament, or didn't you? Or was that like the weekend before?
The weekend before.
Okay. See, Leah and I had an
He
argument.
was trying to tell me. I wouldn't be allowed
I
to
s-
play in the soccer. And I said,
I saw it was on post.
yeah, no.
I saw your mom post. I was like, oh, whoa. Well, that's good. Successful weekend for the Ayers, huh? Macklin win the Ivy League. That's great.
Yeah, but mine was last week.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Good 2 weeks, huh? Score any goals?
I think you
Well, you're midfield. You can do both, right?
said midfield.
Oh, I thought you were a midfielder.
I just said I played defense.
You told me you're a
In my
midfielder.
presentation, I said that.
I thought you were a midfielder, though.
She played last weekend and she was.
All right. My bad.
But in a way though, I actually did kind of score a goal.
Oh,
No, like
oh.
it is, but it isn't because in a championship game, we tied 0-0, and when that happens, you have to go into a shootout.
Yeah.
And I was one of the ones like our picked who would go.
Really? Why would he pick a defender?
Because she's good at what she does.
She must had midfield traits. Oh, I'm just kidding.
A midfielder But yeah, I made mine, so get your soccer technically.
Yeah, I know. I feel like midfielder would be tough. You got to go the whole length of the field all the time, right?
No.
Yeah, you do. No, I thought you do offense and defense.
Cool. Sort of because you're midfield, so you feel like
Yeah, you can go both.
But like you don't go all the
You
way
stay
back
in the
to defense,
middle.
go,
No,
you don't go
no,
all the
no.
way to offense, people pass you can like make a run, but you don't.
Isn't it like hockey where you just group everybody together and say, let's go?
No, that's what like rec soccer is like when you're like 5 years old.
I love rec
Everyone just
soccer then.
chases the ball.
Everybody group together, keep the ball behind in a V, go after it. That'd be a great strategy, like this right here. You have like all the players lining up, and then you have the one person with the ball right behind. And no, doesn't that work? Does everybody hold their arms up like this?
That's football.
Okay.
Sarah's anxious to answer this bell right now.
All right, let's go. Let's get to it. Sarah, let's hear it.
I said nurture plays a key role in human development. Like Jeannie's story, she was isolated from everything that's for development because her brain didn't develop at the same pace. And this means nurture does play a role.
Yeah, good job. Good job. We talked a lot about David Reimer, his story with nature, and how that played a huge role in his really his development, and how it really didn't work with obviously the cultural, sociological, cultural kind of infusion into his life. But here with Jeannie Wiley, obviously nurture plays a big aspect in her life because obviously she was isolated for many, many years. At 13 years of age, she hadn't had any interaction with anybody, enclosed into a room, a dark room, and she didn't have any type of communication either. So she didn't have the proper synapses forming within her brain to communicate. to relay information, to express herself, okay, and even have any type of receptive language. So again, it's kind of sad to see, but she was kind of like a guinea pig, right? After they found her, they just wanted to see exactly how linguistically she could maybe develop over time at such an, I guess, not an old age, but as a teenager. Like, see if those synapses and connection of communication could occur even before, well, even after that development is kind of already gone. So with her story, nurture plays a huge aspect just because, yeah, you need social interaction. You need to have the abilities to have stimulation to really learn and have cognitive development, to understand your surroundings, your environment, and really just to fit into societal, say, guidelines or societal demands. And so I can only imagine what she was going through as she was presented so many different things. Like riding in a car probably blew her mind, or just even going outside. It's like, what is going on out here? A plant, a tree. She had no clue, had no idea. And this is all new to her, like I said. For many young children, they're presented to this, stimulated by the outside world. For her, not so much. And a kind of good examples when you take kids out of their environment, you take them to amusement park, let's say. Okay, they're just shocked by just the constant rides, people talking, the food, the music being played. There's just so much going on that they need to form somewhat of a connection to, or which they really can't. So it's all new to them. All right, good, good. Is there any questions on that? So again, I think that's a pretty unique story. I know I talked yesterday about Tarzan and Georgia the Jungle. You guys might know them a little bit more. Obviously, they're raised in the woods, and when they're introduced to social interaction and broken away from their social isolationism, it just goes to show just how shocked they really are, and they have no type of cognitive development, cognitive understanding of the socialized world, the industrial world, right? Okay, is there any questions on that? Good. Okay, I think I only just have one term for you today. Like I said, I just want to talk about a viewpoint of developmental stages, since this is a good representation after just talking about Jeannie Wiley's story of where we're at. Oh, never mind. I have the wrong. I don't want you to write those down.
So only this one.
Yeah. There you go. At the very bottom. So it might be cognitive development. When you look it up, you'll see that. But these stages are reflected as it's a theory in psychology of how people develop over time through these four distinctive stages. But we'll talk about it. Certain behaviors, characteristics that are picked up in each one of these stages. And it makes sense. It's understandable. And through different forms of longitudinal studies, cross-sectional studies, this theory was created by Jean Piaget. All right. So we're going to talk today about Piaget's developmental stages. Might be blurry up here, but I'll write it on the board for you guys to understand. So Jean Piaget, he is a famous psychologist that is really devoted towards child development. Okay, understanding child development, and through these stages, he creates kind of these characteristics and abilities that are formed during these certain age groups of a child being developed. So number one is sensory motor. And that is from birth to 2 years of age. Okay, as the term is stated, sensory motor, it just goes to show that these babies, okay, young infants, these toddlers, they're just trying to sense the world around them. So it's constant sensory information that is being presented to them. So stimulation through their senses. So sensing, so I'll just say senses, okay? So picking up senses, we all know with babies, they're constantly putting things in their mouth, right? They're constantly grabbing, touching things. Toys are resembled for that. There's constant noises, different types of objects that they can grab and feel and touch. I'm sure you guys seen that one child's toy where it shows like a circle, a triangle, a square, and they're trying to fit it into the different objects. So understanding object permanence. Okay, we'll talk about that as well. But the sensory motor stage is realizing, understanding these senses, okay, at a very young age, right, from birth to 2 years of age. So again, object permanence is a good one. We could list for that one as well. So object permanence is just understanding that when we have an object in front of us, okay, let's just say, I know I do this with my dog a lot. I pretend I throw a toy and just hide behind my back, and they run around, they're trying to look for it. Have you guys ever done that with your dog? Same thing with, let's say, a child. Okay, you hold a teddy bear in front of them, you put it underneath the blanket, they start crying. It's like, oh, you took it away. No, it's right here, you big fool, right? What's up?
My iPad just died. I was literally looking
It died.
at it.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm taking it from
You're lucky Chris isn't here.
my
Yeah, it's fine. Do you want a new charger? Maybe that's the case.
No, it's charging.
No, okay. But anyway, object permanence is okay, like baby, peekaboo, right? Peekaboo, I'm sure you play that before. Just understanding that this idea, like, oh, they just didn't disappear. Okay, towards 2 years of age, they start figuring that out. They start understanding that this object just didn't disappear out of thin air. Okay, but before that, not so much. Okay, it's really hard for them to tell and understand. The sensory motor, birth to 2 years, mainly just sensing the world around them. And that just goes to show with children's toys of that age. Constant noise, constant movement. They're constantly feeling or rattling something, right? Maybe tossing toys around, you name it. You name it. I always get grossed out when I see children trying to eat like a birth to 2 years of grabbing their just food like cake. You ever give them cake, they're just grabbing it and they're trying to shove it in their face. It's like, what are you doing? Stop it. All right, pre-operational. The pre-operational stage is 2 to 7 years old. And this stage is mostly intuitive, okay? So intuitive age. In this stage, you have children constantly asking why, right? I'm sure you get that all the time. Why? Well, why? Why everything that's stated? It gets annoying after a while. But they're constantly asking asking questions of why the world is the way it is, why people do certain things. Okay, they are constantly trying to pick and understand some rational thinking. It's very beginning of it, but that is when this is being developed. So intuitive, always asking why. Egotistical. So just realizing that really the world is through their eyes only. Okay, that they only can see the world through their eyes. They can't really put themselves in other people's shoes. They really can't feel and understand, and know people's feelings to certain reactions. Okay, they just can't build that connection just yet. So they're just seeing the world through their own eyes. That's it. Okay, so that's kind of why the egocentrism, that's a good term for it as well, for that certain stage. They just can't pick up and understand how people feel certain situations, only through their own. With this stage as well, they are thinking of imaginary friends. They think objects are real. Okay, so they think toys can just come to life, or imaginary friends, like I was saying. And that's a stage where, again, this imagination kind of takes hold. Right. So science fiction is very believable for this stage, 2 to 7 years old. And it's something that they really take off with. Imaginary friends, Lee, did you have one?
No.
You didn't? What? Vegan?
I had 2 siblings.
I had an
What had you
imaginary friend. I had a little brother.
Batman,
Nope.
Robin.
Nope. Do you have a imaginary friend, man? Sarah? Really? Roy? Autumn, did you have an imaginary friend?
Maybe you were talking to
Maybe I'm the only one. No, his name was Beep Beep. I thought it was funny. It was weird.
What?
It was weird. I don't know. I just thought he was a friend of mine, I guess. Imagination just taking hold. I don't know. It
What do you look like?
was like a bird.
Beep beep the bird.
Yeah, yeah. I used to like read a lot of Dr. Seuss. So you know how like he creates those like weird birds that are flying around, like looking birds. That's kind of what it looked like. I don't know. I had an imaginary friend.
The fact that you still remember that.
I know, I do remember it. They have a connection to certain objects, like I was saying. So like a blanket, carrying a blanket around, sucking your thumb maybe constantly, as they're trying to still break away from that senses, that sensory motor stage. Anybody have a blanket or a teddy bear that they carried around with them, a toy?
I carried a pillow and just fell on the floor and slept wherever I wanted.
Really? Oh, okay. Blankets? Yeah. Stuffed animal, what was it? A teddy bear? Oh, bunny. What was the name of it? Or do you have a name? Bun Bun? I don't know. Madden, do you walk around with any toy? Really? Jeez. Maybe a softball bat.
Yeah.
Sarah?
I had a Cabbage Patch Baby.
Oh, okay.
And then I lost it, and I cried.
Did you lose it or did your parents take it away from
No,
you?
I lost it.
Oh,
At the doctor's office, and I cried for how many years?
it's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
I had the same example. I'll talk about it soon. Roy, what did you have? What's that?
Blanket and teddy bear.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought you said like a Bose speaker. Oh, yeah, here we go. Ornaments. No, I'm just kidding. Just joking.
We were broke as a kid.
What?
Kids always throw things. They
Yeah.
break them.
Tossing it. Right, tossing it around. Autumn, do you have anything?
No, I had dolls.
Oh, okay. Just carry this stuff down there. I had a blanket and I used to carry that around everywhere. And I'd suck my thumb constantly.
Me too.
Yeah. And the one time I went to, you know how they used to have like, I guess not anymore, but the Easter Bunny, the Santa Claus at the malls. I went to go see the Easter Bunny, and right when I left, my mom took the blanket. Like she just kept it because she goes, he's too old to have this blanket. I was like 4 or 5, whatever. So she took the blanket. I had no idea, and I thought the Easter Bunny took it. So I hated the Easter Bunny for a long time, probably 2, 3 years, because I was like, Easter Bunny took my blanket. What a jerk. And yeah, I was like in deep sorrow of it. And then when I was in high school, probably 10th grade, I was like going through some stuff and I opened up this chest and there it was. I'm like, oh, my blanket. No way. My mom had it the whole time. And I felt bad for the Easter Bunny. Here, I'll give him some crap this whole time. Oh, anyway, pre-operational, 2 to 7. Again, just intuitive. So again, imaginary friends, thinking objects are real, toys are real. Toy Story, right? Yeah, Toy Story is a great movie series. Egotistical, so egocentric. So they think really the world revolves around them. They can't really visualize or see the world through anybody else's shoes or fitting in anybody else's shoes. Okay. All right, concrete operational. So this is 7 to 11. And with concrete operational, this is building on mathematical reasoning. Okay, this is writing skills, reading skills. Okay, just the basics. Nothing like what Roy can do in accounting, but just the basics. Yeah. And with concrete operational, this is also deductive reasoning. What does deductive reasoning mean? I'll just write down also. What does it mean, Leah?
Be like reasoning things out by saying, well, this happened and this happened, so it has to be this.
Yeah, good job. So if you perform a task, well, there has to be an effect to it, right? So a good example, turn a light switch on. You flip it up, turns the lights on. You flip it on, it turns lights on. Okay, that's a good example. And mathematics, right? Roy, I'm sure you know with deductive reasoning. 3 plus 5 is what? What's 3 plus 5? Okay, so 8 minus 5 must be. Okay, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Amazing how that works, right? Amazing.
I hated going through that with my brother.
What's that?
I hated going through that with my brother.
How old's he?
Pretty much, yeah.
Jeez, Roy.
I remember screaming.
How old's your brother?
at the table.
Perfect. Perfect. This is the stage he's in. Concrete operational.
I think everybody's screaming prior to their parents learning math as a kid.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah. Have an understanding of time. Okay. So up until this age, really have no understanding of time. Okay. Obviously, when you're feeling tired, you go to bed or whatever. But concrete operational 7 and 11, just this idea of when timing is occurring. What else? What else? What else? Emotions. Okay. Building emotional ties to obviously family members, maybe dogs. Okay. Your pets. Boyfriend, girlfriend, kinda towards 11 years old, right? You might be branching out from just your family, okay, having emotional ties to more peers, some friends, okay. I always used to love going to have sleepovers with my buddies. It's like, oh, love it. But when I was younger, I hated it. I just like I couldn't be away from my family more than, let's say, a couple hours. I always had to come back home. If I was at a sleepover like 7 or 8 years old, I'd start crying. I gotta get home. Right? You guys ever have that? Yeah?
No.
Roy did. Yeah, Roy did. Okay. Must be a boy thing. Jeez. Slumber parties were the greatest things ever.
I was in a Boy Scout trip.
What's that?
I was in a Boy Scout trip.
So you couldn't even go home.
And that was the whole week I was gone.
And you're upset, right?
Yeah.
Just want to be home.
Well, whole week's different than a night.
When I used to go to wrestling camps when I was younger, I used to hate it. It's like I just want to go home. Can't stand it. And then finally, formal operational. Those are like 12 to forever.
12 to
Yep. I'm just gonna do that. And formal operational is just building these emotional connections to, like I said, peers, friends, and even building relationships with people outside your family. You have mathematical reasoning, okay, rational thinking, creative thinking, critical thinking. You can break the connection of sci-fi, right? Science fiction. You can understand that there is some of these movies like Batman, Spider-Man. It's just not real. Darn it. They make it realistic, don't they? But again, planning, scheduling, organization. Okay, these are different traits and abilities that are formed in this operational stage. So those are the 4 main stages of Piaget, okay, and how developmental process works over time and through these age brackets. And I just thought it fit well, especially with Jeannie Wiley's story and how she didn't have this, right? She didn't have any type of communication with peers or friends. She didn't have this, these different stages of intuitism, egocentrism, with questioning, with constant communication, different forms of reasoning. It just wasn't developed for her. And it's unfortunate, right? As we watched that video yesterday. And you just can't imagine a lifestyle without that. And it just goes to show with nurture how much it actually plays a role in development. All right, is there any questions? You guys good? Okay, so make sure you guys remember Piaget's developmental stages, these 4 different brackets, okay, these 4 different, I guess you'd say branches within his state, or stages within his idea, his theory of how children develop. All right, so here's the assignment I'd like you guys to work on. Should be able to get it finished up.